Hi everyone. So this is my second book review on a book called Americanah. If you can see there. Yeah, that book here by Chimamanda Ngozi Adiche. She is a Nigerian writer based in America, and this is her third novel, and it's really good. So the synopsis, I'm going to try and go over it briefly. The synopsis is basically about a girl who lives in Nigeria and then she moves over to America to attend university. There's a few kind of triggers to make her move to America, and it's basically about the difference between cultures, her responsibilities in each country, and issues that she faces, such as, employment, fitting in, finding love, and then repatriating herself back to Nigeria once she's finished her studies. It's a very long book. However, I found it extremely easy to read because I am actually a fan of this writer. I've been a fan of her since her first book, Half a Yellow Sun, and I loved both that and The Purple Hibiscus, which is her second novel. So this one, because I'm used to her writing style, she's not that complex in the kind of metaphors, etc. that she kind of just gets to the point. She avoids any particular fluff of some writers that I read, and I just can't get along with them. But hers, I've never had an issue with how she writes, and I find it quite easy to take into my brain. So yeah, that's the story is of this girl called Ifemelu and her original Nigerian boyfriend called Obinze. They are high school sweethearts. They have a relationship. They want to get married, but during the time when they finish, high school, there's particular. They have a military coup in Nigeria. They have lots of those. So the universities, I think, are closed, or she doesn't get admission into universities. The idea of her applying to university in America comes up, and she particularly thinks that she won't get into it. So she's like, yeah, I'll apply, but I'd rather stay here. She wants to stay with her boyfriend. Like, she started the university out there, and it's the one that he was going to. So she applies for a visa, she gets the visa, then obviously because of that she gets a scholarship, or a half scholarship, I think a full scholarship, and then she moves to America, and she struggles a little bit to fit in, obviously to acclimatise herself to a totally different new culture. And she manages, at the beginning she doesn't really have a job, which she needs to support herself, so the scholarship only is paying her fees, I believe, and she's finding it difficult to find a job. So she finds, like I said the last time I filmed this, there's a section in the book where she finds employment with this guy who's like a sports writer or something. He's basically just big fat sleazeball, and he wants her to entertain him. I don't think he actually expects her to prostitute herself, but just to give him some love every now and again. And so she was so desperate, she kind of went over there one night, but she actually didn't sleep with him. She gave him a hand job or whatever. And afterwards she felt so ashamed that she cut all ties with her boyfriend. She was already becoming quite distant from him, mainly because she probably felt depressed because she didn't have a job and she didn't know what she was doing in America, and everything was just hard. She didn't have a support network, so she cut ties with her boyfriend. And throughout the book, it's probably about a 5-year period where she grows. So her aunt from Nigeria moves to America also before her, because she is the mistress of an army general and has a child with him. So it's and then he ends up dying. So she moves to America to kind of try and avoid any issues that she might have as being this guy's mistress. The guy dies, and then the wife is coming for her because she got pregnant. So she moves to America with her son, and then Ifemelu, the main character, kind of lives with her for a little while, in the summer before she starts university. and looks after her son, and they form a really strong bond, like her aunt and her, I'll call him her nephew, cousin type person. So she forms a strong bond with him, so she's always got her as her kind of support network in America, and she's got some other Nigerian friends, but she's still... So after that fake job, she finds a real job as a nanny to, I think, a white family. So yeah, she goes there and she does all this stuff and she looks after the kids and she has a few boyfriends, but they're not really... She doesn't really compare them to her ex-boyfriend or Binze. But it becomes apparent that she probably still does love him, but she doesn't have any contact with him until like in the middle of the book. So someone went to Nigeria and said, oh yeah, I've seen your ex and he's doing really well. He turned into like some really rich man. There's a section in the book where he goes to London illegally. Was it illegally? No, he was in London legally, and then his visa ran out. And then, so this section is just really random because obviously it talks about his life and his hardship. So he basically gets deported and goes back to Nigeria and feels a bit ashamed, but he finished uni and managed to get a good job. So when she goes back, after being a successful blogger, so she's this really successful blogger in America and everyone like thinks she's great and she's finished a PhD and blah blah blah. They go back, or she goes back to try and work. She works in a it's a magazine, and it's the themes of repatriation, reacclimatizing yourself to your home country whilst with being away for so long, and how you kind of adapt back into the swing of things. So it talks a lot about that. And then she basically gets back together with this Binze guy, even though he's married and got a child. So there's a little bit of adultery there. But the main character's okay. She does come across a bit bratty and a bit annoying after a while. But I think her heart's in a good place. So maybe that's the whole point of her character. The guy's character, he's very patient, you know, the guy that waits for his true love, blah, 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 blah. It's got a lot of themes in it, like I said. So it's got adultery, like immigration, migration, education, employment, mental illness, because Efemeli's aunt's son, so her cousin, the one that she's very close to, towards the end of the book when he's about 18, does attempt suicide, etc. Who knows why? It doesn't really go into it that much in the book, but it does kind of go over those kind of issues that people might have. So it is a good book, and I definitely recommend it if you're a fan of hers, or if you haven't read any of her books and don't mind carrying around. Literally the hardback is like that thick, or the paper version is like that thick. I don't have it. I only have the digital version, which is $7.99 on iBooks, which is basically the same price as the print one. I think, okay, maybe not the same price. I think it's like $11.99. I'll link it down in the description box, the current Amazon UK price of it. But anyway, I generally thought that the book was great, and it didn't take me very long to read. So if you're into books about African migration, or you're just interested in, even if you're not into books like that, it's a really good characterization. Like, you feel that you know the characters after a while. And actually, after I read the book, I decided, I felt like I missed them a little bit. Sad, but true. But anyway, so if you like this kind of thing, please, I do recommend it. I'll probably give it, out of 5 stars, 4 stars. Stay tuned for more book reviews. I think the next book type vlog will be on books that I started or have started in the past but never managed to finish, or just couldn't finish because they were so awful. So you might be surprised, actually, a lot of the books that I can't finish, because they're kind of classics, ones that people think are like amazing, and I just can't read them. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.